Hello and welcome to Burning Questions. I'll try and hang around for the whole show today. There were three in the bed and the other one said roll over. Chris Alford was going to join Nathan, Jack, Andrew, Gath and myself, but unfortunately the power's gone out. So we hope you're very safe, Puppet, and the whole family too. The triumphant return of Andy Gath. How have you been, my friend?
Oh, I've been well, thanks. Good to be back. It's been a while, but a couple of reasons why I couldn't be on. But yeah, it's nice to be back on.
Were you also? I thought you were holding out for contract negotiations. Like during trade week, you were just deciding I'm not going back in there until you give me what I asked for.
They were trying to trade me off, and no one wanted me, so I'm stuck here.
And Nathan, Jack, you've bullied me into having a little bit of a shave. I haven't gone the whole way, and I tell you what, you bullied me into having a shave. That's the longest beard I've ever seen on you. You've got like 3-day growth happening there, brother.
Yeah, well, you asked me about half an hour ago. I didn't have time. You put me under the pump.
And we've been stubbing around technologically again for another half an hour, so it's grown even a little bit more. All right.
Yes.
Question one of the burning questions for you, Nathan Jack. What is your middle name, Nathan?
Russell.
Nathan Russell Jack. That makes sense. Can Galeno own this Oaks with lead and trail plays, or do we see the feature working out a different way? I tended to think that Egret would get across your runner, Amandine, and then you might retake the advantage. Is that the way you see it playing out?
Oh, well, it's always hard to sort of plan to do the retake or anything like that, but it's always hard to plan to do a retake or anything like that, but my filly's a very strong filly, and if she can happen to hold early, she'll be holding. But if not, probably Egret's probably a good one to sit on. She led and won the Shepparton Oaks, and it's going to be a hard horse to beat anyway, so it's not going to be the end of the world if we are leaders back, but I'd prefer to be in front.
Are you clearly on the best of the four? Because the other two of the second row have obviously got a lot of ability as well. They've just got a few minor issues in the upstairs department, maybe.
Yeah, I think sort of Rebel Stokes usually pretty good, but I sort of made an error at Shepparton. Should have just kept coming to the outside. But I think I'm on the strongest one anyway, and in 12 months' time, I reckon I'll be on the best one as well. But they're four very talented fillies.
Was Ray Green texting you again? Is that why you dropped out for a moment?
I think Ray's gone home with his tail between his legs.
Oh, jeez. It might be true. Andy, how do you see the Oaks playing out?
Yeah, obviously all of Anton's fillies are quality fillies and all in really good form. And Nathan's got the best draw of Amandine, and Egret leaves the gate okay too. My filly's probably been below par last 3 or 4 runs. She was really good first up at Maryborough, but since then she hasn't been quite where we want her. But she did show really good gate speed in the APG final when she led, and she can leave the gate pretty good herself. So Kate will probably chance her arm a little bit early too and see if she can sort of find a way to the fence. I'm a lot happier with her, but again, it's a pretty even race. But I agree with Nathan. He's on the strongest horse in the race, and he doesn't have to lead to win. But she has got the draw that she's the one to beat. So 3-year-old fillies always a little bit tricky. Some of them can do a few things wrong, but I think Nathan's on the best one in the race.
Just expect a bit of pressure now early now, Nathan. I didn't even realise this, but now just a bit touch, he's going to be having a crack at you as well. So stay safe out there.
You always expect pressure in these races, J-Bon.
Nate, is the locomotive an emerging equine train? So what I've done there, a locomotive's a train anyway, we move on. Or can he be outsprinted? Sat by Susan is her name. I think you've got a very big opinion of the locomotive, have you not, Nathan Russell Jack?
Yeah, I do. I think he's a really good horse going forward. He seems to be getting better and better each time he steps out. He was quite disappointing at Menangle, and then they made a gear change and he was a lot sharper in the final. He's since been to Bendigo trials and just had a quiet trial, but trialled really well against the older ones. And I think he's the class runner, and I think if he found a forward spot, he'd make it very hard for the other one to come 3 wide and take a lot of ground off him.
How good was that speech? It was like he was reading off an auto cue. That was magnificent. He's since been to the Bendigo trials, and he actually pulled up very well from that. That was wonderful from Nathan. Your thoughts on the locomotive and the other runners there in the Tatlow, Andy?
Yeah, no, he's a really nice horse, and as Nathan said, he seems to be getting better and better. And I think, as a 3-year-old, he'll probably be better again. He's probably drawn a little bit wide. I think David Miles' horse, Rocking with Attitude, probably going to be pretty hard to beat because it's a chance of being on the fence first and getting a pretty good run. Susan is my name, or her name, or whatever it is. Was pretty impressive at Maryborough and ran a quick half, and no doubt got plenty of ability. Just won 3 from 3 and it's in the right stable. So, but again, if the locomotive can find the top, I think he's going to be the one to beat. And I think Rockin' with Attitude probably be his second pick, and then the filly.
I was getting a little bit shook there for a moment. I thought to myself, we found out about the Russell business with the middle name, but I didn't know Susan was actually your. Eric's my name. That's enough of a problem. If your name was Susan, Andy, we'd have real problems. And you've gone with the Calvin Klein today, which I appreciate. That's a lovely shape. What would you call that? Are you a teal independent?
I think it's a teal colour, actually.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
I'm
Nathan's got a V-neck, or it might just be a round neck that he's worn so often that it's turned into a V-neck. It's very, very difficult to work out. Hey, just quickly before we go on to the other burning questions, the inclement weather, the 100-year storm, it's already played havoc with you a couple of times recently, hasn't it, Andy?
Yeah, no, it has. And it just depends on what type of facilities you have. Some people, we were sort of lucky enough we were able to jog all our horses this morning before the rain come, and we didn't really get any yesterday. So, but again, some trainers are just washed out. So going forward to Saturday night meeting, there's going to be probably a few horses that maybe miss a little bit of work. Anton's got pretty great facilities up there at Ballarat, and I think he's got a treadmill as well, so he could probably overcome that a fair bit. And same for and Clayton as well. So, yeah, a little bit tricky going forward. Some horses are going to miss out on work. As my grandfather used to say, rainy days make good trainers because you can't ruin them if you're not taking them out to work them. So, yeah, just a little bit buyer beware, I suppose, if you're betting on Saturday night that, some might have missed a little bit of work.
Does it affect your joint much, Nate?
Yeah, it does. We were lucky enough that we took 7 into the Shep track and worked them this morning and got all the joggers done here at home. So we were lucky to get through.
And you've got that lovely warm office to go back to if it gets too cold. I still can't believe it's his office. There's something amiss there. I can't put my finger on it, but it's not right. Will the Queen regain her throne in Trotters Free for All? Or are these one-run tactics once again the way she falls? Andy Gath, Queen Elida I wanted to get Puppet on here. Unfortunately, he couldn't be here today, but I just wanted to tell him how sick I felt last weekend. Sat back and came with one run. She was amazing, Queen Elida, but she didn't win. Does she just win this weekend?
Well, it's a big drop down in class, and even though she was defeated last week, her race was full of merit. I'm sure she's still capable of going to sit outside them. She only has to sit there quiet, and she always, capable of beating them for speed. There's probably nothing off the front row that she should be worried about. All the dangers are on the back row. Nathan's horse is going really well. They got it back in the draw, so it could draw barrier 8, which is probably a little bit unfortunate for it. So, yeah, you just think she should be able to dominate this race and Puppet drive her any way she wants to.
Nathan?
Yeah, I think she's a superstar. I love her. I've got a lot of respect for her. She's just so fast. And like Andy said, against this lot, she could probably do a little bit of work and put herself there and make it a lot easier. Like you say, last week, she smashed the clock, but still got beat. But I think she should be too classy for him this week.
Who's a better trotting mare, Queen Elida or I'm Ready Jet?
I'm Ready Jet.
Is Majestuoso better than them both? Coming back into work soon, I hear, Andrew?
They're all as good as each other.
Oh, isn't that beautiful? Don't worry, Michael Guerin tells us when Bolt for Brilliance and that come over here, you all might as well stay home anyway, so I wouldn't worry about it. You can all run for 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Question 4, final of the burning questions today, and I'm still on the call. Amazing. If LB leads with Art on back, is 5th to race in 2, or can there be an upset if the tempo's really true? LB 2 Chains, Nathan was back to the exclusion first up from a break on Saturday night and went well. Does this look a pretty pedestrian sort of a race where it's a leader and behind leader situation, or are you seeing it a different way?
Unlike that, to be lacking any confidence, isn't it? J-Bond first up. But, yeah, I think, to be honest with you, I think Mighty Flying Art will be too good for him sitting on his back. I think he'd be too fast.
When Nathan's having a go at somebody for their confidence, they've got a bit.
Hey, you got to get in quick on race.
Andy, thoughts?
Yeah, obviously he came out pretty quick last week, LB2 Chains, and he couldn't pull the outer leg. I wouldn't say pull the outer leg's an absolute flyer, but there's a horse in this race. Number 5's got large captain type gate speed, and there might chance its arm early and might, be some chance of crossing all of them early. So if that does, if the scenario of the race changes, but he was pretty well, hit the line pretty good. First up, LB2 change off it was a slow middle half, obviously. Bulldog first up for a long time too. Don't know when his last run was at Melton, so surely he'll be able to get around okay. But yeah, I think he's no guarantee to lead, and if he doesn't lead, the whole complexion of the race changes. So I still don't really know who's the winner here.
So just to be clear, you now believe, despite resisting it for weeks and weeks, you now believe Luck Captain has good gate speed?
Yeah, I've seen a couple lately.
Every horse has got Luck Captain type gate speed. He's the fastest beginner in the country. Right, best bets, please. We'll start with you, Nath.
I like the Lincoln 80. I think he's a really good horse going forward.
I'll go. It's Andy's return, so we'll let him go last. I'm going to have a horse that I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm going to go race 9, number 1, Cobber, to lead all the way in the penultimate affair on the program. Andy, drum roll for your return. I've been tipping really well while you've been gone, by the way, so no stuff.
Okay, blaming me then. I'm going for race 2, number 2, Serge Blanco. Hopefully he can find the top off the bloke I'm looking at.
Really?
Nathan, he's drawn 1. But I think Serge Blanco...
I'm aware of that. I'm now asking Nathan if it's going to happen.
Well, he's first up, Serge Blanco, but he's a good horse and he's got quite good gate speed. But yeah, I'll have to see. But I would say so. I'd say it'd be the best option for mine.
I definitely think the softest possible run is the best option for yours, Nath. I think there'd be, he's not the strongest character going around Arden Ronaki. That's been a great addition to Burning Questions. You know why? We went through all the way. Well done to Andy on his return. Well done to Nathan, his beautiful little office. Congratulations, team. Hopefully we found some winners for the weekend. Au revoir.